We're going to work on the rear of the frame for the moment. You need to get it to where it'll sit back on its own right and be the right measurement, because it was all bowed and twisted out really bad and all that stuff. So we're going to rebuild a cross member, put it in there. We're in the process of pulling the frame and straightening and re-squaring it right now. As you can see, we're taking, the frame was twisted out really bad on the bottom, so we are getting that pulled back out. It's actually pretty straight, pretty square now. Just temporarily, mind you, just temporary. We had to re-weld that spring back together. There's 3 passes in there. I just don't have a cap put on between those two, so don't need it. It's just enough to make the truck move around and set level like it's supposed to. But there it is. Frame rails are nice and straight up and down now. So we're going to take a design, some sorts of that, and fab us up another cross member to put back here. Something that's going to hold a whole lot better than that did. So that's what we're working on for the moment. Got all the nasty stuff out of there with the torch. We just got to clean up some of the slag stuff. We got a crack we have found right there, which is fine. We're going to fill in those holes anyway. So the plates were put in there, we can have something to bolt to. But that's what we're looking at. Just about done cleaning up. Got the crack all beveled out really good. Got the hole cleaned up to where it'll accept good weld. Got it beveled out on that side to where there's no more crack. Gonna fill that up. And we're gonna fill up that bigger hole because our plate's gonna go over that. And like that, crack is fixed. Holes are filled. You can still see where the holes were, stuff, but it's going to get covered with a plate. But there it is. Here's the other side, all cleaned up, plugged up, and ready to go. Now we just got to build the cross member and put it in. We're working on the rear cross member. You can see this is the one we're replacing. It's all nasty and rotted out there. Pretty gross looking. You can see where the welds ripped out of the plates that they did have in there. We have our new one made. We have our spacer here. That's to space it down from the edge of the frame so the holes will center up. We have our end plates. What I'm going to do on this one, I'm going to make it bolt in instead of weld in. And that hole, once it's welded on to the end here, I'm going to double nut it and make it to where I can pass a bolt all the way through into the nut side of it. But you can see where this one was really bad. That's all that was holding it on the truck. The other side it completely broke loose. That was one of the reasons it had failure at the back of the truck. So we're going to make it a little better. Okay, we have the holes in this one. We have the nuts welded on. It looks terrible. Really bad. The welder is got a booger up in the end of it, so but anyway, it's on there. It just looks wretched. It'll hold. But the tip is grounding out against the cone. I didn't realize that until after I was done welding. So, but anyway, there's that plate. There's the holes in the frame. All nice. Chamfered out. That one wound up going right through that weld. That was kind of fun to get that hole drilled all the way out, but there that part is. To give you a good idea of how far twisted the frame is, we mocked up the one side. That's how far spread apart it is. And we are bolted tight on this side, and that is perfectly square all the way around. That's just tacked onto that plate the cross member is. I give you an idea of how far out this truck frame is from where that other piece broke. So it's a booger to work with for sure. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to get us some gussets. We're going to come out to here, the end of the frame, and 45 up. And we're going to put 2 of those on, and we might put a plate with a bolt through the bottom, because this thing is really twisted. I don't know, but that's where we're at so far. There it is. Cross member all done, all welded up. The only thing I got to do is add my gussets in. I do not have my holes drilled yet. I'll worry about that probably at a later time. But there it is. Next thing we got to do is fit it up in the truck. This is how far off it is. Trying to get it to go in. So we're going to put the binder on it, pull it in, and bolt her down. And there it is. All bolted in. Nice and good. Got to get the old frame rails to come down a little bit. Got his mouth open like an old grass carp. But there it is. It's back to being 34 inches outside to outside, and it's squared up again. All right. This is what she looks like sitting on the ground. Frame rails are back to being straight, squared up, cleaned up. There we go. It's a damn sight better than it was.